Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am so sorry that it's been so long since I've done my divine masculine and feminine videos. I have been sick for like ever. It feels like I had a sinus infection and then bronchitis. I'm still kind of getting over it a little bit, but I'm able to talk now. And then I did have an event in February, so I've just been thrown off kilter a little bit, but now hopefully we'll get back into routine. So the Divine Masculine video for March 10th through the 17th. So we'll just get into it. You guys' weekly lesson is the King of Swords. Words cut deep, Divine Masculine. Words cut deep. Watching it for your tongue. Your tongue is your sharpest tool in the shed. Watching what you're saying, how you're saying it. Your logic, making sure that you're being logical and methodical before you say something. Yeah, just being strategic with your words, you know, just not running and saying anything that just comes to your mind, you know, thinking before you speak. So obstacles with this lesson, we have the Tower. And this deck is my Afterthought Tarot deck. I don't know the artist. I'll have to pull that up. Tarot One Moment After by Pietro Aligo and Corinne Kenner. Yeah, I'm like, I can't fucking read because this light is in my eyes, so don't mind me. So, yeah, so obstacles with this lesson, we have the Tower, and then we have the Queen of Swords. So the Divine Feminine did actually have the Queen of Swords in their reading as well, so there might be something for you to watch to kind of have an idea of what they're going through, what we're going through, because, you know, Divine Feminine and Masculines are obviously each other's mirrors, so... yeah, the Divine Masculine and Feminine are just on defense mode right now. You know, it's just like battling out everything, like battling to the death is what I'm hearing. But this Tower moment has been because of the Divine Masculine's words, because of what's been said or thrown around very lightly. There was something that was said by the Divine Masculine that blew everything up. This could have been at work. Maybe you said something that was just inappropriate and, you know, it just, you know, crumbles your whole foundation. Maybe you said something to a family member and it just, you know, shut shit down. Whatever this was, it crumbled everything. It destroyed everything. It was very blunt, not thought through. But it affected this Divine Feminine energy, this Queen of Swords energy. So she could be an air sign, Aqua, Gemini, Libra. This could be a family, a friend, girlfriend, you know, wife, whatever this may look like for you. But it has made her put her sword up. Because as you see, like, the King of Swords, his sword is down. Like, he's put his foot in the ground. This is what I said what I said energy. I said what I said. And then because you said what you said, it caused this. Just ricochet of events to pan off into hellfire. But then it also caused whatever this Divine Feminine energy is for you to put her defense up. So, you know, this could be a manager. Like I said, this can just be a feminine aspect in your life. That just was like, okay, whoop, hold up, like defense mode. So how to handle this, we have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So this is really about you, Divine Masculine. This is about you fighting your own inner demons. Because as you see, it's a little demon dude chilling. So this is about you dealing with your own shit. And you're just kind of lashing out on anybody and everybody in a negative way that's hurting people and making them go on defense, like, whoa, back up, what did I do to you? Because you haven't sifted through these energies. The Nine of Swords, all this mental stimulation, all these doubts, these fears, inner demons, this inner dialogue that is not serving for your highest and best good. You have not dealt with this, so that's what caused you to just kind of lash out with your words and just domino affecting with this Tower moment. The Nine of Wands, obviously it's the wounded warrior. You know, you've been hurt in the past. Yes, everybody's been hurt, but just because you've been hurt doesn't mean you have to take it out on people. Doesn't mean that you have to cut people down with your sword. Because when you're acting from that vibration, people are just automatically going to put their defenses up. And that's not how people want to exist. We want to exist with vulnerability and transparency, but it's really hard when, you know, the divine masculine is just firm in what you say. Like, I said what I said, and it's like, okay, how do you combat that? How do you react to that? There really is no response to it. All your response can be is put my guard up, put the other person puts their guard up in order to protect themselves, because now they don't know what place that you're operating from. Yeah, they just don't know what kind of energy they're going to get. So your weekly lesson is really to just deal with your own shit, deal with your own demons, handle it. Release whatever this Nine of Wands energy is. Yeah, you're scared to get hurt, but everybody's scared to get hurt, but we can't operate in that. We can't keep vibrating from a place of fear. We can't keep operating and vibrating from a place of anger, resentment, bitterness, because it's just going to continue to crumble the foundations that anybody builds together. You know, you can't build off of fear. A true solid foundation, a true castle, if you know, let's say you're trying to build a castle, you have to build on a solid foundation, and solid foundations are not based in fear. They're much stronger when they're built from a place of love and compassion. So the outcome, we have the High Priestess. She's so bomb. And then we have the King of Cups. The High Priestess is always patient. She is always compassionate, always loving. The High Priestess is also a keeper of secrets. She doesn't reveal everything at once. And I feel like this is almost like the shift in energy. Once you face all of your own demons, the divine feminine energy, this Queen of Swords energy, can shift and vibrate higher into this High Priestess energy and hold space for you. But she can only hold space for you when you deal with your own shit. It is a lot of heavy energy to ask of your divine feminine energy to combat this and to defend this off. But when you do, divine feminine gets to ascend into her higher self, which is the High Priestess. That would be the higher essence of her. And hold space and unconditional love for you so that you can communicate properly or be vulnerable. With this King of Cups, obviously being vulnerable with your emotions, but you have to handle your own emotions first, your own dark thoughts first, your own inner demons before you come to your divine feminine. You know, like, she just always reminds me of, like, looking at her sword like, what the fuck? Like, every time I see the Queen of Swords, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, that's just kind of the energy. Just defense on, like, back the fuck up. You got me fucked up. Like, that's really the energy I get from her. So when you're lashing out from a lower nature and causing these tower moments, obviously somebody's going to put their sword up, their defense up. But when you handle your shit on your own, when you handle your own demons, now the divine feminine can hold space for you properly. Because that's what we are. We are here to hold space for our counterparts. We're here to hold space for our divine masculines, so that you may step into your King of Cups energy and be vulnerable, be transparent, be emotional. It's not bad to have emotions, and every emotion you feel is valid. I will always say this. Every emotion you feel is valid. And the divine masculine have been shoved in a corner, told to be quiet, not to cry. You know, it's weak if boys cry. That's absolute and utter bullshit. And I feel that our paradigm is shifting to where we all understand that now. But boys are sensitive. Men are sensitive. You know, the divine masculine energy is just as sensitive as the divine feminine. We just show it in different ways. But that's the outcome of when you handle your things on your own, then you can come to the divine feminine energy, the high priestess energy, and be vulnerable and transparent, and you guys get a lot further that way. I feel like this is more counterpart based, so that's why I haven't been able to give many examples of like work related issues. But if it were to be work related, it could be like something that you said that just, you know, really set off something uncomfortable with your manager or something, and now you're having to deal with the repercussions on the side. And, you know, the high priestess could be the manager above your manager, and now you're having to kind of go to her with a dog with its tail between its legs, like, hey, I fucked up, you know, and just humble yourself. That's really this energy is coming to either, you know, like I was saying before, if we're strictly talking about counterparts, coming to your divine feminine when she's in her higher form, or, you know, this could be upper management if this is work related, and being vulnerable and transparent and saying, hey, I messed up. You know, I lashed out on my boss. I told her, you know, she was a bitch or whatever. And, you know, you got written up or whatever. So now you're beating yourself up because you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. And da da da. Or whatever that may look like for you. But just so I could give you guys something, like another example. But to me, it just feels much more counterpart energetically. It just feels like the shift. Like, yeah, it just feels more relationship wise to me. So this could be, you know, an actual friend, a girlfriend, wife, you know, it could be work related, but I'm not really picking up on that, but, you know, very well could be. Take it as it resonates, of course. Well, yeah. But yeah, the King of Cups, like the fact he's pouring out his cup, he's pouring out his vulnerability, pouring out his transparency, but also what I'm getting is he's humbling himself. You have to be humble in the presence of your divine feminine. And I really, they're kind of stopping me there. They're just like, the divine masculine just needs to be humble. Humble to be in the presence of the high priestess. Like, you wouldn't go to her commanding or demanding anything. You would not come to her in that energy. She'd, boy, she'd dismiss you so damn quick. You don't come to the high priestess in the King of Swords energy. You come to the high priestess vulnerable, transparent, and humble. That is when she is receptive. That is when she's willing to listen and willing to hold unconditional love and space for you. That's what you come to the divine feminine with. Ooh. So for the crystal cards, we have Morganite relationship healing, Tanzanite clarity, pink tourmaline forgiveness, and black obsidian the shadow. And I also did want to mention, I almost put the King of Cups back, and Spirit was like, nope, that was the one. That was the one. Like, he needs to shift from King of Swords to King of Cups. So literally they told me to put it back because I wasn't even going to pull King of Cups. So yeah, that's even more like, nope, he needs to be humbled and step into that energy. So obviously with relationship healing, this Tower moment, and that's another reason I was leaning more towards counterparts. Healing the relationship when you're dealing with a Tower moment, like, look at that. Like, that's tough. That's a tough repairing job, like a job to repair, a relationship to repair. But when you're clear on what it is that destroyed it in the first place, that's when you can start rebuilding. That's when you can start putting those foundations where they belong to build your castle. Forgiveness, like I said, the high priestess waits in unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness. Always. Because she understands that you're dealing with your own shit. You know? You're dealing with your shadow. That's literally this energy. That's all this energy, honestly. Like, look at all those colors. It's just shadow energy. Dealing with your shadow self. And, you know, Divine Masculine might be a little late to the game on the shadow work, but, you know, it's still important. Whenever you get to it, you get to it. And we're never done with shadow work. Shadow work always comes up when we're triggered, when we're scared, when we're, you know, insecure. You know, the shadow can always be poked and prodded at during those moments, and that's okay. But that is why this is so powerful, to become clear on what it is that caused this Tower moment, so that you can forgive yourself, for one, because that's always going to be the most important thing, forgiving yourself. And then that repairs the relationship. Because, yeah, you were dealing with some shit, Divine Masculine. You were dealing with some heavy-ass stuff. And that's okay. Does it give you a right to talk crazy? No. Does it give you a right to lash the fuck out? No. But when the Divine Feminine steps into her High Priestess energy, she sees it from a higher perspective. High Priestess, higher perspective, HP. So she understands that you're reacting from a darker place, and that isn't a reflection of her. That's a reflection of your inner work that you're going through. Does, you know, Queen of Swords isn't going to take much of that bullshit, but if she's able to step into that High Priestess energy, she'll be there, waiting with unconditional love and forgiveness, because she knows that you have stuff to work through still, and that's okay. Like I said, it doesn't give you a right to talk fucking crazy, but handle your shit. Handle your inner demons. Face your inner demons and communicate. You know, when you're dealing with something this drastic, the only thing that will heal a relationship is becoming clear with your communication. Becoming clear and concise about, you know, I'm sorry, but I lashed out on you. I was going through these emotions, or I had a hard day at work, or, you know, I've just been really stressed out lately, and I'm sorry that I took it out on you. And that's this King of Cups energy, just apologetic, humble, transparent, vulnerable. And that's gorgeous. You know, women don't think that men are weak because they're emotional. That makes you very strong to be able to show those sides of yourself. And once again, you know, energy is fluid. So if I'm using terminology like Divine Feminine, Masculine, men, woman, whatever, please just take it as it resonates to you or pertains to you in your situation. But yeah, just being humbled, knowing when you're in the wrong. And the Divine Feminine also did have the 9 of Swords in her reading as well as the Queen of Swords. So I definitely feel like you could probably check it out and kind of see where the Divine Feminine's head's at right now. But yeah, I do really love this reading because the Tower moments are always necessary. The Tower moments are those lightning bolts, either struck by ourselves, struck by the universe, to destroy any false realities that are not going to serve us for the future. So Tower moments are always necessary in relationships, necessary in life, because that's when we learn a lot. We learn, okay, wait, that was not built on a sturdy foundation. How can we rebuild? How can we heal this relationship and this dynamic with more love, with more light, with forgiveness. And yeah, so this week you've just got to battle your demons, Divine Masculine. Face your shadow. So a good shadow work meditation that you could do, because I kind of want to give you guys advice, because I feel like a lot of people don't give the Divine Masculine advice on how to combat these energies. We're just kind of like, here, there you go, figure it out. So I do want to start giving out more tools and tips to actually help you guys through this energy, rather than just saying what it is. So to help with shadow work, what I always do is journal. You can do that. You can do something else, but I'm going to give you a couple. Journaling down all your negative thoughts about yourself. You know, if you're like, I hate that I'm insecure. I hate that I do this. I hate my habits. I hate this pattern. Da 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 da. I hate that I think this way. You know, whatever that may look like for you, just write it all down on a piece of paper, front to back, however much you want to write, however little you want to write. You know, you can draw something that represents your anger or your fears. If you don't really want to write and you just feel like, you know, symbolism is more important to you at that moment. Either or, it's all representing the same energy. It's the point of getting it out there and not holding it inside anymore. Like I said, this King of Cups, he's pouring his water out. You need to get your emotions out so you do not continue to wreak havoc and tear down the city with these tower moments. So then when you write on this paper, just burn it in a fire safe cauldron. I use a strainer, like a metal strainer, and I do it in my bathroom sink. And I burn it and then, you know, either flush the remains down the toilet, or I release it into the wind. So either or works for you. If you can't light your thing on fire, you can literally just rip it up into shreds and flush it down the toilet, because that's also very therapeutic. And I've done that before too, but I just like the transmutation of fire and working with the elements in that way. Another shadow work meditation that you could do is looking in the mirror, in the dark though. So I actually got this from Conjure Queen on YouTube. So her shadow work, I've done it before multiple times. She says light a black candle. You don't really need a black candle, because I've done it with and without. I've used the white candle, used no candle, just done it chilling in the mirror in the light, done it in the dark. So you can do it anyway, but to really access your shadow self, I did use a black candle. Or just a candle in general. It doesn't have to be big. You can use a votive candle. You can use a chime candle. You can use a 7-day candle from like the dollar store. Whatever you have available to you. And just look at yourself in the mirror, you know, naked preferably, so you can see your true self. And when you do that, ask that your shadow self come forward. So say, shadow self, I ask that you come forward and meet your shadow self and talk to your shadow self through the mirror, because the mirror is a portal. You can ask it, you know, what do you need from me right now? How can I give you more love? How can I help you release these emotions? Talk to yourself as if you're a child, you know, talk to your shadow self as if it's a child. You know, just give it unconditional love, because that's all it wants is attention. These inner demons are just parts of yourself that need that attention and that love that somebody else didn't give it. So it's your job to do it. Nobody else's. It's your job. So don't put that job on anybody else. It is your job to love yourself. It is your job to love your shadows. It is your job to love your inner demons. So that's another good meditation. Like I said, you can use whatever candle. The one that Conjure Queen said was supposed to be done completely in the dark with just a black candle. You know, I have a Himalayan salt lamp, so sometimes I would just use that as light in the background. Sometimes I've done it in just pure light, like getting ready for work or whatever. So, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with at the end of the day. There's also a million shadow work or shadow meditations to do on YouTube. Just look up meditations for shadow work or shadow self. They'll come up and they can guide you into something further or deeper if you don't want to do those kind of practices. But yeah, I'm just trying to give more resources to the divine masculine, because as the divine feminine is ascending so quickly, you guys are being pulled up to ascension as well. So we got work to do. And not everything can be on the divine feminine's shoulders. We really heal a lot before the divine masculine even faces it. So I'm trying to kind of get you guys to be balanced with us. Yeah. Because you guys deserve that. And you should be where we're at. So yeah, I hope the divine masculine has a gorgeous week ahead. A very healing week ahead. Prices are going up Aries season. I want to say Aries season starts the 19th. But my prices will be going up for my readings. So if you have not booked with me yet, please do so. My 15 minutes are 11:11, half hours 22:22, and hours 33:33. And all first-time tarot clients do receive a 15-minute distance Reiki session with me as well. So be sure to email me, DM me on any of my social media platforms. My email is CheyenneXRenee@gmail.com. And on social medias, it's Cheyenne _Renee or Cheyenne Dolan on Facebook. What else? And yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Put your bell notifications on so that you can be updated when I post a video. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.